Yes, 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 yes!
Yes, 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 yes!
Feel incredible!
It's not a cartoon, it's anime!
Get that shit out of here, Shino!
Get that shit out of here! Welcome to another episode of Animeshun! The squad is back, well, somewhat. Myself, Brennan, Rob, no ice today. I guess he couldn't get on. He's not on schedule because he has some stuff he has to do. Make sure. Go ahead.
Can we just take a moment for how disrespectful Rob is?
I was just about to lay that up right now. I was like, literally, if you're not watching the YouTube, I know you guys listen to us on Spotify mostly. Go to the YouTube page, bro. You have to watch. Rob's background is so disrespectful.
Rob, you're disrespectful.
I've been having a great time with the backgrounds for this show. The Fuck Them Kids background with Galen Massa with another classic, if I do say so myself. I think this one's going to go up there in the Hall of Fame, and I'm just going to keep this train rolling as often as I can.
Man, you know what? People always might say, like you know, Brennan, myself, or I, we say some wild and do some wild things. Rob, don't think Rob's just a nice guy. Stop! Don't think that shit. Man. Rob can go, bro. And this background proves it right here. The second one, I think, went in a row. All right. So
I think I played nice last week, but yeah,
the week before.
I'm gonna keep, yeah.
Well, you know what we're doing is this is Brennan's pick, Iron Blooded Orphans. We are continuing this week, episodes 16 through 20. Man, this show.
You know, doesn't give a fuck about you, Keenan. This doesn't give a fuck about you.
It doesn't. And you know what? With our picks, sometimes I think sometimes we be like, all right, so who picked this pick? This shit gonna probably be all right. It's gonna be whack or whatever the case. I didn't want to like this show because season 1 was, you know. This show has me on a different level of investment. So let's get into it, Rob, with the recap.
All right, we'll get into the story here. So despite not being able to recover Nazaire Amida's bodies, Taiwaz and Tekadon hold the funeral for the Turbine leaders. Jazly's tries protesting to the boss about this, but the boss he's already knows something suspicious is up and that he might be involved in this. It's like, I'm just having a private funeral at my house. This is not Taiwaz's business.
I do not
it's
like
fine.
This guy, bro. I do not like him at all.
Absolutely not. And later on, he talks with his men about having Eok help him to overthrow the boss so, you know, he can take control of Taiwaz and talk shit about Naze and at his calling hours to try to provoke Tekadon into a fight. But Orga's smart enough, you know, to prevent the conflict there. Afterwards, Laughter and some of the other former Turbines discuss what to do next. The Taiwaz bosses arranged for safe work for them, but Aziz tells Laughter, you know, hey, I know you've got feelings for Akihiro. You know, if you want to go with Tekadon, none of us will, hold it against you. And Laughter's like, I'll think about it. Meanwhile, Rustal meets with Eok, who unfortunately survived the attack on the Turbines, but Rustal is angry with him for acting rashly and giving McGillis an angle on them, you know, to make them look bad, and ends up putting him under house arrest until he can basically learn to follow orders. At Tekadon, a lot of the high command is trying to convince Orga to go after Jazly, but he insists that's not what Naze wanted. You know, it could jeopardize the safety of the surviving Turbines. You know, he's not thrilled about it, but he wants to respect Naze's last act to keep the peace. After some thought, though, Laughter approaches Akihiro and they go out for drinks, though Akihiro almost, you know, bungles the whole thing by trying to invite some of the other guys to come with him.
Bro, he's the most... In all of our anime, when it comes to, everybody... There's almost every anime character is either, like they don't care about the women and they know what it is, or they are obsessed with getting the women. He's the first character. It's just, not
he's
only...
Oblivious.
He's completely oblivious to, one of the finest girls in this whole show. Is just what's good? Can I pull up and have some drinks with you alone? And he was like, bring the homies. It's like, wait, what? No, fam, no.
Do you have a friend like that or that has done that before?
My twin brother Alonzo. Alonzo was the most. No clue when we were into him, bro. When we were younger, he had no clue. The girl, finest girl in the whole school, be like, yo, can we hang out after school? He'd be like, yeah, let me get. Who else is coming? Are we gonna play video games? I'm like. Are we playing basketball? What are we doing?
Hey, man. I've definitely been that guy before, too, so I feel Alonzo on that one. But But yeah, so he does eventually get alone because the guys are just like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, you are going alone. Like, it's your orders, basically. But they're alone, and, they do acknowledge their feelings for one another, their mutual respect, and, there's something there. It's kind of unspoken, but, also a little spoken. But in the end, Laughter, wants to stay with her family, the Turbines, and the two hug and promise to see each other again. Elsewhere...
Oh, you didn't have to put that in there.
It's what happened, man. It's what happened. Elsewhere, Mika and Atra talk about Naze's babies and, what will happen to them. And, Mika admits that, he'd like to have one. And with Atra at that, even though she finally gets what she wanted. And then she, runs off and is just like, I need to think about it. Which, at least it's a big decision. But, this is all you wanted. You wanted this the whole time.
I feel your frustration, but tell me that's not, and I'm going to get yelled at in the comments or whatever, but tell me that doesn't feel familiar. That's all I'm going to say. Just going to leave it at that. Tell me that doesn't feel fucking familiar. Okay, you want this shit? This is what you wanted? Fine, let's do it. Well, now I don't know.
Bro, hey, Brennan, I literally, with your energy right now was the energy that I had when that scene, but I said, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? But back with Jasley, he's frustrated he hasn't been able to provoke Tekkadan into a fight and decides to play dirty. Later, he has one of his henchmen find Laughter out on a shopping trip. And as she's looking at a teddy bear that reminds her of Akihiro, Jasley's hitman guns her down in the store.
Fam, let me just... Brutal. I'm sorry for interrupting you again, Rob, but dog, you gotta understand, this is where my mind was at. I was looking down on my phone, when you, like I say, when you watch dub, you can you can do multiple things. So I'm looking down. As soon as I look up, she gets fucking shot multiple times. My jaw went through the floor, dog.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you.
They did a really good job of setting that one up. I was like, the girls were going on a stupid shopping spree, and they were having fun. Everything was cool. Then,
he made sure she was dead. It wasn't like a solid shot. He pumped a few through the window.
Yeah, there was no guessing. Did Laughter survive it? Maybe. No, she did not.
Nah,
she's done.
Dog.
Bloody teddy bear on the ground.
Oof. So Tekkadan gets the news about Laughter and Jasley trying to usurp the Taiwa's boss, and Orga and the rest can no longer contain their rage. He lets McGillis know that what they intend to do, and that they'll look for evidence to incriminate Eok while they're there, but mostly he wants assurance that he'll still back them up. Because after that, they can't go back to Taiwa's anymore. And McGillis promises, hey, I will never betray you. Later, as McGillis and Tekkadan prepare their next moves, Mika asks Orga, hey, how far do you want me to go against our former Taiwa's allies here? And Orga just says, go all the way. You crush them. Crush them.
I love those questions. I love those questions for Mika. He's like, how far? just for clarity, how far? Yeah. Orga's like, all the way.
But there's the way he didn't even ask the question. That's what he does, bro. He goes.
He does.
He only crushes.
He's got the one speed. Maribit, who has decided to stay with Tekkadan because of her relationship with Nadi, delivers the news of Tekkadan leaving Taiwas and Admos effectively to Kudelia in Greece, and she's shocked to hear it. And, when she asks for an explanation, Maribit's just like, hey, turn on the TV, set it to the Earth channel, and basically there's a Galahorn soldier that's about to start this big speech. From there, we cut to Tekkadan taking on Jasley's fleet, and they are wiping his mercenaries out with cold efficiency. Mika also debuts an even further upgraded Barbados now with the same tail whip that the mobile armor has.
Shit! He got it from the fucking mobile armor. They were like, oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Slap that on there. And Jasley's wondering, where his backup is. Eok promised to help him in the fight and, orders his men to just hold out until the reinforcements arrive. On Earth, Isurugi lets McGillis know that, the battle has started, but that Tekkadan is outnumbered. McGillis isn't worried, though. He knows Tekkadan's soldiers outclass their opponents, and, we go back and see this is true. Even Hush is kicking ass in one of the repurposed turbine mobile suits. So, if he's kicking ass, it's they're outmatching their opponents.
He's the lowest of the low.
Absolutely. Jasley sends out his ranks of human debris as his men frantically try to get in contact with Eok, but, even the forces with their AVS-equipped pilots aren't able to stand up to the Gundam suits of Tekkadan. On the Isurugi, Zack asks, if some of the mobile suit pilots feel bad. killing some of the human debris, even though, they were once the same. But Chad makes it clear that it's kill or be killed out there on the battlefield, and, they have to do their jobs without remorse. Meanwhile, Akihiro is, asked his departed loved ones for forgiveness for his lack of remorse and decency, as he's literally just cutting his way through these mobile suits with his giant scissors. At Rustal's fleet, Juliet is thinking about how badly she was outdone by Amida, even though she had the better suit. And her mechanic says that, if she really wants to get better, she can do so by giving up parts of her humanity. Julieta says that goes against Gjallarhorn ideals, but the mechanic says, you might not know as much as you think you do about Gjallarhorn, but is called off to work before she can really elaborate. Back in the battle, Jasley's ship starts to take direct damage, and his men are like, we should probably think about surrendering. He reaches out to the boss, hoping out that, he'll help him against Tekadon's betrayal, big air quotes here, but the boss knows exactly what's happening. Rustal contacted him, and they made a deal behind the scenes about forgiving their illegal weapon transportation if they don't retaliate for their attack on the turbines. And to cap it all off, he knows about Jasley's plans for betrayal, and Rustal will make sure Iok does not come back and give him the backup against Tekadon. Jasley will have to clean the mess up himself. As they continue to take damage, Jasley reaches out to Orga to surrender, and Orga's past that. He just says he just wants to hear Jasley beg for his life, which he does when Mika lands on their ship, but Orga decides it wasn't as fun as he was hoping and just gives Mika the order, just finish him off, and he does, just crushing the bridge of the ship, killing Jasley and the rest of his men. After the fight, Orga tells his commanders and the others that, hey, McGillis, we're on our own now. And, as Eugene turns on the TV, other than McGillis, they're on their own. And they turn on the TV at the same broadcast that Meribeth had been showing Kudelia. And on Earth, McGillis's men are holding a press conference, laying out all the evidence of Rustal's, dirty politics, organizing the war on Earth between the Arbru, province and the SAU, saying, this is only the tip of the iceberg of Gjallarhorn's corruption, and that's why they need revolution. After the speech, Kudelia is sad. She's been left on the outside of the loop on this, but, hopes for their survival. And the others in Tekadon ask McGillis, they ask Orga, are his goals the same as ours? And he's like, they are. And, to reach our future as the rulers of Mars, this is our only path forward. Vidar reports to Rustal that McGillis is holding a meeting with the leaders of Gjallarhorn without him, but Rustal isn't worried. He knows the revolution is coming, but feels he's put himself in pretty good position. Vidar, though, still wonders what McGillis's plan is and decides to head to Earth to confront him himself. On Earth, McGillis is taken over Gjallarhorn, the whole compound, with the help of Mika, and has captured their leaders. And in a meeting with all of them, while his men are doing their broadcasting their speech on every channel, he goes to confront Galeo's father, still one of the 7 stars, and basically tells him everything that he's been up to, including, trying to kill his son, but explains that he knows about Gjallarhorn's corruption better than anybody. And we see his childhood from his perspective being this, scrappy orphan, much like Orga or Mika, pulled off the street, basically groomed to be part of his adoptive father's, all blonde children that he appeared to be, beating and molesting. He learned then that, brute force and vigor are, the only powers in the world, and he vowed to change it using Gjallarhorn's, own rules and traditions against him. Meanwhile, Rustal is basically calling all of their ships from the different areas to gather near Earth to launch an attack against McGillis and Tekadon. And we also see some of Eok's men come and beg him, to release their commander. And he refuses, and basically saying he's still got lessons to teach him. McGillis's man Liza, the one that's been delivering the speech, tells Orga that Rustal's fleet is gathering near the moon, and it's more than double the size of theirs. But Liza's like, "Hey, McGillis has a plan. It's going to prevent this huge battle against them, no problem." And soon after that, we get to see his plan. McGillis makes his way to the center of the Gjallarhorn base, where he finds the Gundam suit Bile, which used to belong to Agnika Kairu, Gjallarhorn's founder. But before he can take it, Vidar lands and reveals his identity. Dun dun dun, as Galeo, which we knew at this.
Take that out a long time.
But we know. He confronts McGillis about his betrayal and how he only wanted to be his friend, but clearly was just a pawn for him to get Bile. And still, he challenges him. He's like, "Hey, get in, but your Bile suit. You're like, let's fight now. I want you to get what you want, so I can take it away from you." However, Mika and his great sense of timing are in full effect as always, and he arrives and fights Galeo himself. But he's a trick up his sleeve. He has his own AVS system in his Gundam suit that connects him to his old partner, Ein's mind, which is built into the suit as an AI. Mika starts to get overpowered because with that AI, Galeo can unlock the full potential of the AVS system without overloading his brain like Mika has to. While they fight, though, McGillis is able to enter Bile and, connects through his own AVS system. And when Galeo sees it's 2v1, he decides, it's time to fight another day. And McGillis broadcasts his own speech saying, hey, by law, because I have this suit, you have to follow me. Basically, everybody just joined me in my fight against Rustal. However, Galeo and Rustal issue their own speech, laying out their charges against McGillis and, vowing to beat them themselves. Tekadon starts to worry that things are not going as planned, but Lies is like, don't worry, the leadership is going to respect McGillis' right to rule. But on Earth, Mika's asking McGillis, how are you able to get this AVS surgery? And he explains that's what that whole experiment with Ein was about, was to basically figure out a way that they could successfully give an adult this sort of surgery so that that's the only way you can pilot this sort of suit to its full potential. So from there, he goes to confront the leaders. He's captured, saying that, I'm in charge now. You need to give me your armies to help me fight Rustal. You're bound by the laws of Galahorn to do whatever the pilot of Bile says. Rustal, meanwhile, preps his own fleet, but doesn't seem worried. He tells Galeo, these things happen from time to time in an organization as old as ours. Every once in a while, you got to just weed out the traitors. And even as Eox, is seeing all, this all is, he's willing to fall in line. And he apologizes to Rustal for jeopardizing his plans. And he forgives him and explains to him that, why his men are so loyal to him is because of the story and the history that comes along with his name. And he points out that McGillis' plan is weak because he wants to dismantle the old ways, but is relying on that same history to do it. Speaking of McGillis, he goes to visit his child bride, who is not happy to find out he tried to murder her older brother and imprison her father. But he explains to her that, his love for her is real and he needs to build this new world. And, she admits that maybe she still has feelings for him too, but, she can't live this way, tries to kill herself. But McGillis blocks the blade with his own hand, protecting her. And when he leaves, she's even more confused about about this man than she was when he first got there.
Happened?
What just happened? Unfortunately, McGillis gets some more bad news. After thinking about it, the other Galahorn leaders have decided to remain neutral in this war between him and Rustal, despite his ownership of the legendary Gundam. He's disappointed, but sees it's an opportunity to display his power against Rustal, and tells the news to Tekadon. They're less than thrilled to hear about it, but he promises this is going to be the last battle. Tekadon gets ready to fight, and while most are, down until the end of the line, Zack is questioning the logic of this fight, against such a large force, and he thinks he's in trouble when Nadi overhears him, but he's like, honestly, if we had more people like you, this would probably be easier on Orga. So just keep thinking, but get back to work. Meanwhile, Eugene and Shino are, also kind of having that same situation about their chances in this fight. But they realize, it's partially their fault too for always, egging Orga on to go further and further. And so they're all in this together. He's doing their job as their leader. They need to do their job as the soldiers and just follow his orders, and trust his decision making. Elsewhere, Orga meets with McGillis and punches him for putting his family's life in danger. He says he can't betray them and will, fight. He would never gamble so recklessly with the lives of his men as McGillis does. And that's the difference between them as leaders. McGillis just doesn't treat his soldiers as family. Atra also reaches out to Kudeli to talk about her fears. This battle could go poorly, but Kudeli is like, you need to be strong. You need to be the one that's by Mika's side right now for both of us. So she goes to talk to him and explain, how she's worried about him when he fights and wonders why she's not good enough for him. And he hugs her and explains that he does care for her. And, the only life he knows is one of violence and fighting. But now he wants to fight so that, she can live in a world where she doesn't have to cry anymore. He wants to build a better world for her. So he says. The last episode of this run starts with the battle in full tilt. Rustal is deploying his superior numbers to try to overwhelm his opponent, and it seems to be working. Tekadon is holding on as best they can, but Julieta leads a team of mobile suits against them, and they get split from the main fleet. She takes on Mikazuki herself as the rest target the main Tekadon ships. Mika's able to kind of keep her busy while the rest are overwhelmed by the number of other mobile suits, and their big ships start to take direct damage. On the other side of the battle, Liza's ship is getting battered by gunfire, but Isurugi and his soldiers soon show up to reinforce, but Rustal's forces mysteriously retreat, and out of nowhere, one of Liza's men fires a Dainsleif cannon, and it turns out to be a spy from Rustal, and by using that cannon, they've given Rustal's side basically a carte blanche excuse to just deploy an entire Dainsleif cannon brigade. McGillis gives the order to just everybody, evade, but it's open space, and the cannons hit with devastating effect, including hitting Shino, whose Floros Gundam is badly damaged, but he manages to survive. In addition to the secondary Tekadon ship is badly damaged, and Orga has basically everybody get on board the main ship. In his ship, Rustal explains to Eok that, his plans, he's not planning to attack the rest of the Galahorn fleet if he can help it. He wants to take out Tekadon and the revolutionary ships, and then once he takes out McGillis, he figures, those other people will flip back to him out of loyalty, and Eok starts to realize, basically what a mastermind this dude is. Meanwhile, Yamagi tries to patch up Shino's broken arm, but, Shino wants back in the fight immediately. He's like, get this special cannon on my Gundam for one last shot, and on the bridge, Orga, starts to consider retreat, but the others ask, hey, where are we going to go? But Shino arrives basically to explain his plan. Get me close enough to Rustal by letting me ride on that disabled ship, and I'll bring him down with one shot from this galaxy cannon that, I've been working on. And they think it's crazy enough to work. And soon, Yamagi is strapping Shino into his Gundam, wrestling with the idea of, maybe telling Shino how he really feels about him. As they get ready, McGillis joins the battle in Bile, and Galeo and Isurugi begin to fight. Galeo's trying to explain to Isurugi that McGillis doesn't care about him, but he's like, that's not what I want. I just want to help build a brighter future. All the while, McGillis has to dodge more Dainsleif volleys that Rustal is firing at them. I think Liza gets killed somewhere in there. Rustal is surprised, however, to see Tekadon wildly charging their lines with their ships, and he figures they must be desperate. On the ship, Yamagi finishes strapping Shino in, and Shino can tell Yamagi is emotional, but he promises, I'll return back to you safely. And as they charge in,
that's his boy, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean, I think Shino's straight, or at least sleeps with women. Yamagi definitely has feelings for Shino.
Was there for that Shino dick.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. As talk about disrespectful, Brennan. Damn. Poor man in this horrible time as we're about to see. As they charge the enemy totally, they catch the enemy totally off guard. But Julieta throws a spear at Shino just as he's about to fire his shot, and she knocks the shot off course, and he misses his 1 in a million shot, and in his anger and desperation charges in towards the enemy. And Tekadon and Yamagi can only watch as his suit explodes in the distance. Rip to Shino.
Kimbe Matumbo that ass, Sergio Blanca.
Not today.
Oh,
not today.
Man.
Shout out to what's his name, Naughty, as redeeming all the black folk in the show. Side note.
Rob, thank you as always for a wonderful recap.
How you feeling there, Keenan? You look like you're emotional, man.
Bro,
it's a tough one, man. This one.
Like I said, this show keeps adding. I've never been this emotionally attached to a show before. Never. An anime, anyways. Every anime that I've watched, I've had moments, but this, I feel like around starting around episode maybe 10 or so, bro, it's been okay, people are dying.
Motherfuckers die in this show. It's there's no Dragon Balls.
There's no Dragon Balls. What was, I think it's Demon Slayer we talked about. You'll see in the manga. It's bro, motherfucker. The risks are high in this show. Yeah. There's no all right, man, somebody got shot in the arm. We could get him back. You know what I'm saying? It's players are dying. This show is set up. I'll get to that in my recap. But all right. So this is the question portion of the show. First question: do you think Orga/Tekadon made the right call going after Jaisley after Lothar's murder? I'm sorry. Would you have done it, Rob?
I mean, I've been really wrestling with this. There's a part of my brain that's just you got to do this. You have to. Of course, I was pissed watching this, but it does completely fly in the face of everything Naze was trying to do, and that's exactly what Jaisley was trying to make happen. He, they played into his hands, and they are in the situation they are in right now because of they acted rashly. They had thought of another way. Maybe they had gone to the boss and been here's what's going on. We know who's behind this. Maybe they could have rooted out the people that were trying to overthrow him together or something. But I think this final battle, or if we're calling it that, this final battle, which I don't even know if it is a completely different look if they've got Taiwaz to lean on as well. And you have to imagine it's just the picture becomes completely different. That being said, would I do it? Fuck yeah, because fuck those dudes. Fuck them. That was so cold. That was just ice cold. I would absolutely have made the same decision. I would have done the same thing.
Brennan?
I love Rob. I like how he just laid out the logical arguments, like have to have the background, be able to do it. Not would I do it? Fuck yeah, these motherfuckers need to die. Like
they gotta go.
Like, no, I mean I feel Rob on the highest level because I mean for me, like it really depends on like everything depends on a feeling in this moment. That's really what it comes down to. It's like how much do you feel this? I couldn't be a hero. I couldn't be him and be like what does Orga say to him? If he's just like, nah, fam, we can't do anything about it. What does he say? She was shot in cold blood in a public street.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like if she would have died in battle, he can handle that shit. But she was out shopping to have a civilian life.
Yep.
And motherfuckers gunned her down for nothing of her own fault. Gunned her down to get at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, we gunning for the women now? That I feel Rob. Like, you motherfuckers gotta fucking die. Like, this is it. Doesn't matter what happens to me anymore. Fuck you. So yes, I feel Rob.
Yeah. I think Rod laid it out perfectly with all the logic. I think all the logic is like, all right, I would try to, if I'm Orga, I'm like, man, we're gonna get this guy back, but let's try to come up with a plan to try to do it. I can see that thought process, but I think Tekkenon's kind of like, yo, this is not going to end well for all. I think we're all going to probably end up dying. Fuck, let's go out how we want to go out there, like some G's.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm with it, bro. You killed. It's like innocent women and children, bro. If like you said, they're not in the heat of the battle. It's different. If we're in battle, it's different. Like it's like, yo, this is the risk we're taking. She's living an innocent bystander life, and you fucking assassinated her, bro.
Assassinated, yeah.
Fuck him. I wish he would have died an even worse death, to be honest.
Seriously.
Next
Worst.
question. Was McGillis' plan shitty? Brennan.
I think so. I think it was shitty. I think that for me, it's just like watching this show even again, like seeing McGillis get in the mobile suit and just be like, I win, right? Hey, I win. Everybody do what I say now. I'm in the mobile suit, right? I'm God. This is it. This is the moment I'm God, right? Like everybody, I'm God. Yeah, God. Like McGillis. Like I don't understand. Like for me, I feel like he could have just gotten that mobile suit without such a fucking grandiose statement being associated with it. He didn't have to have all these announcements happen. He didn't have to have all these things. He could have just secretly snuck his blonde hair, white ass up in there. You know what I'm saying? Figured all that shit live in your shit out. He still had to betray Galileo and shit like that, whatever. But like he could have done all that shit and then just snuck his ass in there and then just one day just been like, hey guys, something crazy happened today. Don't know if you can tell or not, but I'm piloting bio. So what does that mean? Guys, on you. What do you think? It's like I think that would have been the better play. But he put all his eggs in the basket and said this is what it has to be because of history. And it looks like he was only partially correct. Like they definitely respected that he did it, but they didn't respect it in the way he hoped for. And now he's put him as well as all the people who've gone onto his ship into a very precarious situation, and we're watching some tragic death happen because of it.
Rob?
No, I agree. It's a complicated plan, and he pulled it off like a Swiss watch. That doesn't mean it doesn't necessarily mean it's a good plan. And I think Rustal, like even watching this the second time, like again, when I was doing my breakdown or whatever, Rustal calling it out and just being like, it's not a good plan because he's trying to dismantle history by using history. And his whole accusation against these people is that they're hypocrites. So why would hypocrites respect the rules that they're already breaking? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I think he knows how shitty his plan is because as soon, like, a few, episodes ago when he saw the mobile armor and, what's-his-face landed and was just like, I know what your plan is. Your plan is to kill this thing so you can get the higher rank or whatever. He was just like, shit, that is a pretty good plan. This is plan A now. He completely threw out the other thing because he's just like, if I can get this now, I don't need the other thing. And I totally agree that, he pulled off a very complicated thing, but I don't know that this was a good plan.
Side note, how come Mika didn't get the honor of anything? Like, he killed a fucking mobile armor by his damn self. And they didn't
put him on the council.
They didn't give him any credit for that. Like, that used to be, he become a star when you kill a mobile armor. He did that shit, and they were like, huh,
Well, we're gonna make you this tail for you. That's your honor. That's
Thanks, bro. You sacrifice half your body to get that done. Crazy.
They're not trying to have any new blood on that council.
No.
Yeah. I think you guys hit it. I think it was a very, very shitty plan though. Like Rob said, I think Brandon might have said it too. You made this complicated shitty plan, which makes it worse than a regular shitty plan. So you went through all of this, and it was still shitty. But you went through like the long route. That's just terrible. So yeah, I mean I agree with shitty. Next question. This kind of goes from like a little bit of the last episodes to these episodes. Just watching all his wives and seeing how he had to deal with that now that he's gone. Do you think you could have been, or do you think you could be in a polygamous relationship? Man, with a bunch of women, having to deal with a bunch of women. Look at Brenda's eyes, bro. Brenda's eyes are hilarious. For me, having a bunch of women around the house doing things, everything sounds amazing. I look at somebody like Floyd Mayweather and how his situation is, and I don't know.
What is his situation? I don't know anything about his situation.
From what I see, what his situation is he has pretty much a bunch of women, maybe 10, maybe like 7 to 10 women, and they're all good. But he does what he does when he wants to do it. But any one of them takes probably all of them or some of them on vacation, whatever he wants. Whenever he wants to spend a night with one, he spends the night with one, just like that. And it seems amazing. But I guess I have to look at myself personally, and I get tired of people. And now I'm gonna get tired of 7 motherfuckers. Like, I just don't. It sounds great in the grand scheme of things, and I can see how it can work out great if you're having like that many women, and if you have the money to deal with those women to where it's like they don't have to work, and so they can take care of things around the house and take care of the family and make things easy. But I mean, I think it is for me in my personal how I rock. It sounds better than what it would really be for me. Let's go Rob first, and then Brennan, you can end it off.
No, I don't think I could, for a lot of the same reasons that you just laid out. I personally feel like I'm somebody that enjoys like having like a few deep relationships rather than just like a bunch of like kind of knee deep sort of thing. You know what I mean? So
Andre over there just like cleaning a gun from Rob right now. Yeah. Like, go on, yeah. Baby. Tell him about it.
It's also a very small apartment, and not very soundproof. No, but like for all the reasons you just said, it's also just like how can you really give? For me, that would be hard to like have those sort of deep relationships across those like that many people. It's just like, and also like giving that much of yourself to all those people because I got to imagine at least like you would want to like they would you're married to this person for a reason. There's got to be some sort of like give and take as far as like,
bro, they want time and they want your time.
Yeah, so that's just too big of an ask. I think no way. So for many reasons, but that especially.
Brennan, go ahead and end this question off.
It's a hard question for me to answer. It's something I've actually like spent some time reading into and looking into. I think I am a person that could be capable of that, but I don't know if I'd be willing to put in the work that it would take. Because it's like you have to like I would have to be in a space in my life where I don't have to work either. You know what I'm saying? Like there's like that becomes your whole life. Is like being able to set up the structure, communicate effectively, being open, honest, and transparent, and set up a system and the space so that everybody feels validated, loved, and appreciated, as well as everybody feels like they have enough of you in the way that you need to, and vice versa. And so, like, I think that in some form of life I could do that, but definitely not in the form of life that I have now, where it's just like I don't have time for my damn self right now. So how am I have time for not only one but multiple partners? But like I said, if I'm like, in retirement, glory days, Brennan, millionaire, like, like whatever, like now I don't have to work anymore. And I have enough money that it's just like, whatever, I can get a house that has different wings in it and just, okay, cool. I want 3 women, 1 for each wing. But I start with my main partner. And now I start to expand slowly to the next partner. We get our next partner together. And then all 3 of us get our next partner together. We all choose together. Like, it has to be this whole process thing that I'm just like, I've thought through it. And I'm just like, for me, I'm interested in one partner right now. And just, I would like for that partner to be open to the possibility, but it doesn't have to happen.
Yeah.
I could totally see Brennan retiring to some like Roman villa, and you just roll up, and this is like his little harem, just like old Brennan with gray in his beard, just living the dream.
I mean, I think. Excuse me, sorry. I think actually Brennan. Thank you. I think Brennan broke it down really, really well. To be honest with you, I think
absolutely
it would take a lot.
I told you I've been reading about this shit. Like this is been thinking.
Because I mean, for a guy, I mean, it can kind of make sense, especially if you can afford that type of lifestyle. Next question. I'm gonna actually combine these next two questions.
Okay.
How shitty was it that Shino missed a shot, and also you have one anime character that takes this 1 in a million shot at Restall for you. What are you choosing? Who are you choosing and why? So, how shitty was it, and who are you choosing to take that shot out of all the anime characters that we watch? This is both of you guys' question, but let's just go. We can go with Brennan first.
I can't even tell you how much I wanted that shot to land. Like I already knew it was going to happen. Like as Keenan is probably going to harp on more in his review section of it. The reason why I love this show, the reason why I have brought this show to all of you as well as to my co-hosts, is because I have rarely felt this level of emotional investment in a story and in the characters and something that doesn't give a fuck back. This is the most one-sided relationship in a project that you can ever have. And so, like, I was so invested in this motherfucker getting shot and dying because he represents the bad guy for us.
Right.
And it's just like, yo, like, yes, let's go. Like, in most anime, that shot gets hit. Or there's a miraculous back. Oh, but no, we still, like, I don't have any hope. I know what happens. I'm not going to give anything away. But I'll say is, I don't have any hope motherfuckers are surviving this shit. Like, we missed the shot. We're within range of these asshole-ass weapons that don't even make any goddamn sense. And, yeah, I was hurt. What was the second part of the question? I'm sorry. I just got it.
Who are you having take this 1 in a million?
Oh, Tanjiro. Tanjiro, all day. Tanjiro. Like, from the anime that we've seen, Tanjiro. Yeah. Motherfucker doesn't miss when it matters. Like, I would depend on Tanjiro to pull up.
He missed Rui, to be honest. He didn't get Rui's head off. If it wasn't for...
I mean, Rui, only because Rui cut his own head off. He didn't miss. Like, he cut his head off. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, Rui, like, just plopped it off ahead of time. But my point being is, I feel like Tanjiro is extremely dependable. And that's what we know. Like, you know, unless something bad happens, like what happened, like, you know, like to, what's his name? Shino. I thought Shino was hella dependable, and he is. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. This is actually on Mika. While you playing, this is on Mika. Like, Mika was supposed to stop that shit from happening. Shiro's going to land that shot. That's on Mika. So I'd say, fuck it, Shiro. I'd give it to Shiro.
Okay. Rob?
That was a real gut punch. I kind of thought, especially because it's just like, hey, we're going to introduce this super galaxy canon you've never even heard of before. Like, we're bringing this up for the first time. And usually when they bring up, like, a new, like, move or technique or something like that, it's just like, that shit's going to hit and it's going to win the battle or whatever. So it's just like, oh, okay, cool. And then they set up this whole new thing. They give it to you, like, for 5 minutes to, like, build it up, like, all this stuff. And then he just misses, like, absolute fucking gut punch. Sucks, dude. It fucking sucks. I'm with Brennan, like, where I'm just like, yeah, I, at this point, don't feel any hope for most of these characters. Like, I thought some of them were going to make it out the other side, but now I'm just like, other than the people I've seen in the thumbnails, you can't guarantee me anybody is making it out. And as for who I would take a shot, this one just made me laugh. I'm picking Shintaro Midorima from Kuroko no Basket. The glasses three-pointer dude. Pick. That was your pick? Because here's what I'm saying. He's got the long-range shot, and he would have read his horoscope because, unlike Shino, he's in touch with the spiritual side. He would have seen that shit coming. He would have known Mikazuki was dropping the ball, and he would have hit that shot. Sorry, Keenan, to take your answer. I felt really... I built this question around this answer.
Oh, man. That was literally...
Same page.
Why won't you let me forget that fucking show?
I'm going to bring it up as often as I can. Bro, I didn't enjoy it either, but I got a kick out of it. I think mostly your pain, Brennan.
Bro, as soon as I saw this question, I was like, 3-pointer!
Whole court 3-pointer. Every time.
Damn. Well, that was legitimately, that was actually my fucking answer.
Damn, man, I'm sorry.
I can't, if I can even think of somebody right now, I don't even, off the top of my head. Yeah, I don't have anybody. I don't have anybody right now. Damn it.
Damn. All right,
I
we
mean-
can share
I mean,
that.
Yeah, no, I just go with what I had just because of the similar reasons. He takes his time. He knows what he's doing. He makes sure all the things are planned out. I don't think he misses that. I think he if old girl's coming by, he lets her. You know how you pump fake. He would have pump faked her ass. He would have flew right by his ass. Oh, look at your stupid ass! Bow, got her. Now I gotta get your ass. So yeah, it would be my same one. Last question. This show is like pretty much built around revenge, man. This show is all about revenge. Everybody's trying to get it. Has there ever been a time where you seeked out revenge and did it satisfy you when you got it, and was it worth it? This is I guess this is hard for me to actually think of a time where when I was thinking about like real revenge, but like there was times against like I guess I go with cheating. So yeah, there was times where I got cheated on and I cheated back. And as much at the moment, it feels like how I guess revenge would feel, right? Revenge cheating. It felt amazing in the moment, but immediately, even though this person fucked me over, a lot of pain. I felt like they ruined my life at the time. I still felt like that was still corny. That was still whack that I did that. I should have just completely broke it off and just deaded the whole situation. And it just is. I felt like it was satisfying in the moment. But afterwards, after I sat back for a little bit, I was just like, it wasn't worth it. So, yeah, it was. I would say it wasn't satisfying, to be honest. At the end of the day, now in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't. Rob.
Yeah, it's not the same situation, but I've certainly, like, when I was younger, had similar, issues where I was just like, oh, this person did me wrong, or like, not even necessarily in a relationship, but even like in a friendship, or like, just like people that I thought had, done something that set my life on a more negative course. And I did petty shit here and there. And like you're saying, absolutely. Afterwards, I always felt shitty about it. It was just like, why did I even like go down to that level? Like, I didn't even need to go there. And so as I've gotten older, I think I take those opportunities less and less. And for sure, I don't feel like revenge, at least for what's happened to me, it's never been a satisfying option. That being said, again, going back to laughter, I still feel like that would feel good afterwards. I still feel like that would, like, to get Jazzly in the end, that still would have, that's a different kind of revenge that still would have, like, he had that shit coming, I'm glad that dude is gone.
I still would have felt like bad afterwards, because like, man, I still lost somebody. But in that heat of moment, like, he has to fucking die.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. In any case where I've like tried to get back at somebody, it's just it's never been worth it. Absolutely.
Brendan.
I mean, the only times I can actually think of it happening is just like in sports, where it's just like, you get crossed up by somebody and you pin their shit on the glass or something like that. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I used to do. That's all I could really think of, because I'm not a vengeful guy. Like, and I've lived a fortunate life that I haven't really ever had the blood curdling call for revenge needed. Like, if my laughter got shot like that, then I would love to learn what that fucking revenge feels like. Mm-hmm. But I hope that I never have to want to learn what it feels like, because I've had relatively, watching this show, I've had a fantastic life. It has been absolutely incredible. I haven't had to kill nobody. I ain't never been killed. Like, I had to make life or death decisions for groups of people. Insurmountable odds. Like, no, I just be out here chilling, live my best life. So no, I haven't ever had to go through that. So no, I don't really have a good story associated. Okay. But I will say one thing is that I used to associate myself, because when I started smoking weed in Michigan, obviously I got to start buying it from drug dealers before it was legal, and I ended up being really cool with all of them, and they were all into much more than what that was. And of course, being Brennan, I couldn't just be homies with. I couldn't just be a transactional deal. I had to be homies with everybody, and so I was really cool with the people that would sell it to me and stuff, and like to the point where they would come over when they come to sell stuff. They would just hang out and smoke with us and like watch movies and do whatever. Like, we'd just be chilling. And it became conversations at some point where they're just like, yo, B, you're a real motherfucker, man. If anything ever comes for you, everybody ever comes for you, I'm coming for them. I'm going to fuck them up. Like, all these kind of conversations that nobody asked anybody about. And I was just like, my response to this was always the same. It was like, anything ever happens to me, I don't want anybody to get any revenge on nobody. Because that just makes it so somebody else is going to do it to you. And it's just like, there's no end to it. So that's my only revenge story was that.
Man, fuck all that. Ride for me. Ride for me. Ride for me, dog.
I do not want that.
No, I understand that, but yeah. So that's the end of the question portion of the show. Let's get into our likes, dislikes, and stuff like that, and our ratings. I'll go first. Dislikes. Always goes back to like the child molestation stuff, man. This shit is just But now, I'm not saying this is right, so don't think I'm saying this is right. But now it makes sense why. What's his? I forgot.
McGillis.
Why he's going that route? Like we said, hurt people, and it's like you see sometimes people that were molested as a child. Not all of them, of course. I'm not saying that, but some will go this route because that's what it is. Maybe they're fucked up mentally from what happened. So this makes perfect sense. But yeah, him, you get a little bit more of his backstory. So that it wasn't that portion was just like it was a little cringeworthy, but it was like all right, it gave us a little bit more context of like who he is and why he's even, I guess, in the relationship that he's in. And I would say another shitty part, just to say another one, was him missing that shot, bro. Because not even just missing the shot, that yell he let out, bro. He was like, that was like, I felt I didn't watch it in the sub, but I know in the dub, that motherfucker brought it. He brought the pain. I'm sure in the sub he did too, because it's normally better than the dub. I felt that shit. That's what I'm saying. For me, I was just like, man, this
definitely.
show right here has dropped my draws.
Trying to get that Cino.
This show, my jaw has dropped to the floor more than any time in this show than any other show that I've watched, anime that we watched on our podcast. This shit is just crazy, bro. Like, I applaud the writers of this shit. They have connected emotionally to this and got me connected. The best parts of this show, I would just say that. I would say that is mostly has me all the way in. Like and I know these last 5 episodes, motherfuckers are dead. They're dying. They set this shit up to let you know, like, bro, we're just letting you know this is not going to end happy. The way that you want it to end, we're not going that route. We can't do that. We kill motherfuckers already. Yeah. So it's like a bittersweet thing because it's like I respect the hell out of that as for an anime. I respect the fuck out of that. But it's gonna suck watching this shit. We just now saw I can't think of his name. The main killer, the main guy.
Oh, Mika or yeah.
He finally shows emotion, gives old girl a hug while she's crying. And I know how this show has been set up. He's not going to make it. The way this show is set up, they always show you, hey, man, love. Oh, episode 2. Next episode, brah, they dead. Yeah. So, my rating for this show for this week, God damn it, 7,900, man. This shit is just fuck Brennan all day, every day. But damn it, you picked a good one. Yeah, pause. But you picked a good one, bro. Everybody agreed with you. Said season 2 was fucking worth it. This shit has been worth the 25 episodes that we've been watching so far, and I know it's going to end with some heartache, with some good shit. Rob.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to find a dislike other than like I dislike that it's going exactly how I thought it was gonna go. Like, obviously, I didn't see everything coming, but I'm just like. Even just like this season has been set up like a tragedy, you know, and you can, if you look at it that way, like you can kind of see that things are not going to go well. And I'm watching this, and I was telling Andrea about it because there are a few times like I'd finish watching this and just be like damn, like I'm just sitting there like in my feelings about it. And she's like, over the show, and I'm like, but you don't understand. It's just like I saw this coming, and it's like. I knew this was all gonna happen, and like it sucks because like I mean when you see that they're all they're doing is winning, like you know that's got to change, like you know, and so this is the other side of that coin, and so I don't like that, but I mean, but
what you did? Can you point out what you sent to me, Rob?
Oh, I sent Brennan like this meme that I've seen before. This like it's like authors like with happy ending and like the audience going like yeah, like it keeps like putting it closer and closer to like putting it in the book, and then in the last second just like throws it into the fire. Like, and that's what this show has done.
And you also sent me
What else did I send you?
You sent me the Pikachu face.
Yeah, because I was like, because I was watching that shopping scene with laughter, and that's been a criticism of mine with the show is that they've kind of broadcasted and telegraphed those like you're talking about, Keenan, like they're everybody telling somebody that they love somebody on this show is this show's version of I'm one day from retirement. They're not going to make it, and so. For whatever reason, with the laughter and Akihiro thing, I think maybe because she was going off the battlefield, all the deaths have been on the battlefield. That one blindsided me. But as I was watching that scene, I was just like, I saw the guy. Like, I think that's when you must have been looking down at your phone. But there's in her shot looking out the window while she's looking at the bear. There's a dude walking across. I was like, wouldn't it be crazy if that guy had a bam, 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 bam? And like I said, Brennan, like. Basically, I wrote that out and just like sent him the shocked Pikachu face because I was just like, "What the fuck?" Like it happened. Like I spoke it into existence. No, this show hits hard. So like my like and dislike are the same. That this show hits hard. You're invested in it, and you feel it when bad things happens for these characters. The only other thing I'll bring up as far as I like is like these battle scenes have been great. The animation's been great, and especially the soundtrack I think has been really great. That like. Coming into that last episode with the final battle, like already going and like they had like the horns and the drums are like bam, bam, bam. Like I was fucking in the whole time. Like the show's great. So I'm gonna give it an 8,000.
Yeah, Brennan. It's 12 o'clock, Brennan. But
no, it's all good. I'm good. We got, like I said, 15 minutes. Did Ice send his ratings at all by chance?
No.
I can't wait to hear how he's gonna give it a 3,000. First of all, like all ego aside, I really am really happy that I selected season 2 for this because I was disappointed after season 1 because for me, like I told you guys when we watched season 1, I merged season 1 and season 2 in my brain into one thing.
Right.
And you can see why now because does season 1 even feel different from season 2 to you at this point? Like it's just a continuous story. It's just like we just have to break it up because of how many episodes it is. Yeah. But nah, man, like it really means a lot. Like watching this anime, when I watched it the first time, it meant so much to me and I was alone. You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't an anime that people talk about. Not many people know this one. And so for me, this hit me so hard and I'm just trying to find like, yo, somebody else watched this. And everybody's like, well, I'm watching this right now. I'll get to it. Like nobody cared. And I was just like, I have to just take this L to my face. Okay, cool. My likes and dislikes. I love that this show makes you get emotionally invested. And the other thing that I love is that, like you said, the soundtrack. When they play that song and there's still scenes going on at the end of the episodes, they're playing that shit and they're just talking about how somebody just died. I be in my feelings every time. I'm just like, fuck. Like every time. Dislikes, it's hard. Like Rob said, like you both said, it's pretty hard to find some dislikes in this. It's like, I'm sure Ice will say that it was a little too dialogue heavy, but the thing is, it's good writing. That's what it comes down to. It's like there isn't a wasted scene. There isn't a wasted moment. Everything comes back. Yeah, even the little things that you don't even think about. Like, man, that's so crazy that the mobile suit had a tail that was fucking shit up. And they just didn't even mention it. They just drew inspiration from that and put it on Tamika's ship. And now he has a tail. And he's like, I can't imagine not having had this before. This is crazy. So, like, every scene, the thing is, one other thing that I would say I absolutely love about the show is they don't show you everything. Like Ryan said, like, episode before is like, okay, we're going to have to go into this battle. And the next episode's in the middle of the battle. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And they do that a lot, where it's just like, we don't have to show how this battle starts. We don't have to show all that shit. Like, we knew it was going to be a battle. Ain't nobody died yet. Let's get to the parts that matter. And so I really love that choice by the director and the writers to say, let's get you to the points that matter, because this is a 50 episode project. We can't just be lingering on shit. So my overall rating for it, 8,300. Just simply because I'm remembering, I'm feeling, and I know that the crescendo is coming.
Let me say that rating again, so I can give Ice's impression that he's gonna do what he would do. Go ahead and say your rating again.
Hold on.
No, I wasn't do that.
Okay, so no, I'll say is that I feel the crescendo coming, and I give this an 8,300. That's exactly what Ice would do. Like, what were you guys watching?
That's 8,300.
Y'all know Brennan picked this, right? Brennan picked this. That should be the basis of how you select your judgment of this. Like, Brennan picked it. So that should take 5,000 off the top right there.
Off right from the start.
Because I look at stuff at the end of the day. If my rating is a 3,000 and everybody else's rating is like a 7,900, I'd be like, okay, we're watching the same thing. I just don't fuck with this style. Like I think I think what we're doing. I forgot which one it was with the I forgot with the girl that falsely accused. I forgot that one. Shield Hero.
Oh, Shield Hero, right.
And I was just like, this is not necessarily my style of an anime, so that's why my ratings are probably not going to be high. And I understand that ratings were higher than mine, so I got it. But for him, he's like, I'm like, dog, but I can see things. I see why this shit. You know me, I'm an action-heavy guy. The dialogue hasn't really fucked with me on the show. Mm-hmm. It hasn't. Yeah. I haven't been like, man, this is, I can't take it. I'm just like, it's needed. I don't mind dialogue when it's needed and you tie shit together. So, we didn't get Ice's rating. I'm sure he'll give it to us on the next episode, the last episode wrapping up. But yeah, man, this show is, goddamn, bro. This is a very emotional show.
Absolutely, very emotional.
Yeah. Very emotional, man. So
I'm so happy you guys are here with me on this. Like, I can't even express to you how much I've wanted this moment. Because, like I said, I watched this shit in a silo by myself. I just happened to stumble upon this by myself. Like, oh, look, what is this? You know, and I just started watching it. I was like, oh, okay, it's pretty good. Let me get it. Like, you know, it starts out with so many wins. And I was like, I like this. These motherfuckers go hard. Let's go. Biscuit? I like Biscuit? You know, and it's like, oh, no. Futima? Okay, motherfuckers dying. But nobody I care about. Then season 2 came around. I was like, oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Biscuit would have talked sense into him. He would have stopped him from going after Jazzly. Biscuit.
I fully agree with that statement.
Biscuit would have stopped him.
And I agree with that. But that's a great effect of the show is that the voice of reasoning is pretty much, he's gone. So some shit is going the way it's going because he's not there.
Everything affects everything. That's what I love about the show. It's just like real life.
Yeah.
Everything, the butterfly effect. Everything affects everything. And this show reflects that beautifully. So hats off to the writers, man. Hats off.
Go ahead. So go ahead and drop you guys' stuff. Brennan.
At Brennan the Best on the gram.
Rob.
Yeah, RV Danger 44 on Twitter, RV Danger on Instagram.
Ice is Ice.McGowan and everything, and this is the greatest fucking anime podcast.
You had to do it. You had to do it.
Of all time.
Of all time. Got it in.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, my name is Keenan Baker, man. Make sure you answer all the questions on them in the comment section, man.
Oh, my God.
Iron Blood Orphans. We're going to wrap this up next week. Peace out, y'all. We out of here. Animation podcast and everything, too. All cash apps and everything.
Yes.
Fuck Ice.
All right.
And so anime was solved forever.